Welcome back. I'm joined here in person, Nathan Whalen. How you going, mate?
Yeah, doing well. Well, not in the tournament, but in life.
if you're stuck in this room with me, you can't be having that good of a day. We've got some birthday cheers out there for Rob Larke. Shout outs to Larky, making the trip over from Adelaide for today, actually.
Not bad. Big trip.
So you played today. What were you playing?
I played 4-color control, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's like a take on the Kess deck without Kess. And
Yep. Adding green, I guess.
Adding green, yeah, it's pretty hard to not play Uro and Oko.
Yeah,
so,
even at 2 points, Oko's hell of a card.
Yeah, Mana Drain becoming some other 2-mana counter spell is not a big cost.
That's fine. That's a fine downgrade, yeah. Absolutely.
But not having played paper for a long time, it's hard to make decisions correctly.
Very true, very true. Alright, so let's have a look at what we've got this round. We have a Trent mirror. I don't actually know which one's on which side, so we'll have to figure that out as we go. I believe one of these Trents is actually a teammate of yours.
That's right. I think Trent's on the right of the screen there.
Okay, so Clarke. Let me head down to the table, zip, zap, zoom, there we go. With the wrong tag there, as always. I'll tell you what, I've only just made these tags, and I had an OBS crash before that killed everything.
Perfect. Yep.
Oof. See if that updates. There we go. Alright, Trent 1 and Trent 2. You reckon it's Trent Clarke on the right?
That's right, yep.
I'll make Trent Armstrong on the left. Do you know what Trent Clarke's playing today?
Trent Clarke is playing some kind of like Bant. It's like I guess it's his take on Isaac Egan's pod deck without pod.
Okay.
So
sure.
No pod, but a lot of that, flickering your own creatures and ephemerates.
Sure, just 3 colours?
Like I think so, yeah.
Alright, well I'm going to call it Bant Ephemerate, and we'll see who yells at us for that.
Yeah, sounds good. Maybe Trent himself.
And Trent, the other one, Trent Armstrong, I'm not sure what he's played. I haven't
mountains, so that's interesting.
I haven't had much time to get out and survey the room today.
I think I saw a Lutri as well. So
yeah, there was definitely a Lutri.
Just see the corner of that just then. We got a Hierarch on turn 1 for Trent, so that's a pretty good start.
That's where you want to be. You got the mana acceleration, perfect color if you are in Bant, and that looks like Kari Zeb, Skyship Raider. Alright, podless pod. Let's get this Skyship Raider on the screen if I can. Wow, this OBS crash has just killed everything.
Oh, no.
We're getting there. There we go. Alright, on the screen. Timely. Look, I'll tell you what, I'm going to call this mono red.
Yep, I think that's a good bet from this point.
Kari Zeb, really powerful on 2.
Yes.
It makes multiple bodies. And the body that's easy to interact with in combat is the one that comes back.
Yeah, having Menace and First Strike is a bit strange on a 1-3, but
yeah, like I don't know. I guess it makes it hard to block it with like a 3/3 and a 1/1 or something like that.
Got open mana. So it's really interesting. Sometimes I think it ends at the end of combat rather than the end step, right? The monkey.
End of combat. That's right. Yeah. So you
could be quite surprising if they have something to be able to like maybe take advantage of that.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm not sure in mono red what you could do with that, but yeah, some of those.
Okay. Something like fling or thud or whatever the thing is. Adding to the clones of Michael in the Melbourne playgroup, we've got 2 Trents on the table. That's right. Got to start somewhere. Now we don't have deck lists yet. That's a Renin 6.
Yeah, Renin 6 and some more dogs.
Okay, so we're in red a little bit at the least.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. And alright, if you're sitting in Trent's shoes, either of them, are you happy with this opening or not?
I think from Trent Armstrong's point of view, it would depend definitely on his hand, if I'm happy with that. But Trent start, that's exactly what his deck's trying to do. Get ahead on mana, and Renin 6 obviously helps with that as well. But yeah, absolutely. 6. So it doesn't really matter, in my opinion, what's in Trent's hand, because Trent Clarke, if that comes off the top, he set himself up to pretty much cast anything that he wants to do. So from that perspective, I think, it's a strong start, and I think depending on what Trent's got in his hand, Trent Armstrong, it's going to be an interesting game.
Yeah, so
just trying to find a 2-1 right now.
This is, when you're sitting in this I don't actually know what
Lava
that card
Spike.
is. That's a lava spike.
Yes.
Huh. When you're sitting in these mono red aggro sort of things, playing against creatures on board is always going to be tough, especially these green creatures.
Definitely.
And you need to get the early damage in. You need to be following that up with using your burn spell on the face. Although here, it looks like Trent Armstrong's gone for a different plan.
This is what I was saying, you know, having the Mages of the Moon changes the whole texture of the board state.
Yeah,
so...
that one's exiled to light up the stage right now.
Yep.
So we'll have access to it next turn. And maybe that's part of the reason that that Armstrong took out the Noble Hierarch there.
Absolutely.
Is that with this Magus there, the colours are going to be super strange. Absence Pilgrim, of course, does tap for white. It's a little bit of help.
Yes, but when you have 3 or 4 colours, tapping for white might not be enough.
Green is sort of the key colour. Not only is most of the deck generally green, but also your answers to enchantments, I guess, are green. Not so much to Magus.
So it's a really strong turn, you know, being able to deal with the Ren 6, which if Trent Clarke had a fetch lane, you know, he might be able to get himself 2 basics and not have to worry about this Magus of the Moon. And then obviously being able to deal with the Mana Dork as well, you know, it's really cut off his ability to play around this Magus. So. Yeah,
it's not in play yet. There's a basic forest, and the Questing Beast is a great way to sort of, you know, deal with Magus of the Moon. Like, you can have your Magus of the Moon. Sure, we're a little strained on colours here. Take 4.
Yes, take 4 is pretty good.
And there's not much in the way of blocking coming across from Armstrong in the way of, you know, getting in the way of a Questing Beast. A 4/4 is massive.
And having the Vigilance means you're not taking the 2 from the 2/1 as well, which is pretty super.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, this Kari Zev doesn't have any good attacks anymore.
It's still got Menace, so it can't... Well, I mean, unless you want to throw away the Pilgrim, but...
Yeah, I suppose at this point the Pilgrim's still got a lot of value in it.
Having white mana, yeah.
A little bit of an argument about what Trent Clarke's life total should be. It's either 13 or 15, depending on whether he blocked the monkey last turn. We're working on getting those dice pushed onto the screen. There's a solid wall in between me and the players, so I can't yell at the players. I mean, if I yell hard enough, I guess they might be able to get there. Yeah. Knock the Questing Beast, the universal sign of attack. As we get delivered deck lists, which is great for discussing the sideboards.
Oh yeah, that's right. Trent's playing the 1/2. What's that? Searches for Skull Clamps and
Stoneforge Mystic.
Stoneforge Mystic package.
Well, we see a Birthing Pod as well. Trent actually...
he actually put the Birthing Pod back in, so that wasn't in the deck for a little bit.
He came up to me this morning and asked if I had one.
Okay, that might be why.
Perhaps that was the reason why it wasn't in the deck for a while. But that's intimidating. This Magus the Moon is blank with a Birthing Pod in play. You know, this Pilgrim can turn into perhaps a Strangleroot Geist, and then into a Kitchen Finks, and then into a Restoration Angel. Podless Pod featuring Pod. That's
that's funny how that's come full round. Yeah.
Yep. Deck list. The deck name made.
Yeah, there's some really good 5s in the deck. Glorybringer, Titania. If you want to upgrade that Questing Beast, might be a little bit too much to ask for that Questing Beast. Is currently chipping down that life total.
I think that's a Goblin Rabblemaster there. And of course the token is going to attack for all that is worth, you know. Chad has put the commentator in the naughty corner. Sorry, friend. So the Goblin's attacking. Trent Clarke just sort of taps his Questing Beast, says, yep, I'll make the obvious block. I guess there is an argument that, you know, if you block, you're open to like a Lightning Bolt opening the game back up here. Or maybe this is a before combat Path to Exile.
Yep.
Path to Exile, you know, it's a really powerful removal spell, except at specific times in the game.
Yeah, like early turns.
Yeah, turn 1, turn 2, you really don't want to use a Path to Exile. But against a mono-red opponent with 4 lands in play already,
it's probably fine.
It doesn't matter.
You don't want to Path to Noble Hierarch.
Yeah. Unless Trent Armstrong's playing, you know, Wheel of Fortune, Wheel of Misfortune, Memory Jar, you're really not stressing about giving him a 5th land.
So I saw him play Ramanap Ruins before. I wonder if he's got any other deserts in the deck, or if it's just, you know, sometimes it's 2 damage.
I've been playing a desert, but not Ramanap Ruins. I've been playing Scavenger Grounds.
Oh, yep, that's a good one too.
Old Faithful.
Anytime you get a spell on a land, it's pretty good.
Yeah, for sure.
Here we go. Oh, so close.
In frame. Alright, we've got 12 plays 13. Okay.
Perfect, there we go. And that Lutru's come back on camera too.
Yeah. We forgot that the Lutru was there. That's actually pretty important here, as Trent Armstrong running low on cards in hand, down to 2 cards in hand. I think both players are relatively low on cards.
Seen that pod get activated. I think it's going to pot away the Mystic, so it's using to pay for itself, which is nice.
Yeah, so what 2-drops could we be looking at?
Watch of the Tomorrow might be super interesting.
Okay.
I know Trent's a big fan of that card, but obviously maybe the Steamforge is probably a way better choice, right?
I mean, is there some sort of life gain artifact, or are we just looking at Skull Clamp?
Looks like that's Sophie, Sword of Fire and Ice.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So
Protection
red.
from red. Jeez. Like, Questing Beast didn't have enough words on it. We're going to give it protection from red and blue as well.
Yep, perfect.
Love it.
Yeah, I think it's just going to go straight on if he's got the mana, which he does. Yeah.
Yeah, he did have the 5th land. Wow. It's
That's
a
a
fetch
good
land,
turn.
but I mean, that's a mountain.
Yes. Yep.
That is a big attack. That's 6 damage directly from the Questing Beast,
Yeah.
plus the trigger for 2, which can
2-turn clock. Yep.
shoot the Magus or just shoot the face, draw a card.
Yeah, unlocks his lands. Yeah, that was a good turn.
Yeah, wow. Trent Clarke cleaning up game 1. We'll pull back into the booth here and discuss the sideboarding options. So we've got Trent Clarke's deck list in front of us, and I'll have Trent Armstrong's deck list real soon. There we are. So talk to me. What is in the sideboard for Trent Clarke?
So we'll have all the blasts that deal with red cards. I'm pretty sure they'll come in 1-mana answers to those things.
Absolutely.
Or even
Blue
making sure they
blasts.
don't hit the
Yep.
ball. The board is super important. Dispel might be interesting depending on whether he thinks he's heavy on creatures
Sure.
or heavy on spells.
Yep.
For some reason, Dovin's Veto, Timely Reinforcements is definitely coming in. And then it's just, whether he wants to trim more, thinks that some other cards are worse out of the deck to,
Yeah, okay.
trade some Bs for some Bs.
Other cards there that I like the look of, I feel like you've got to bring in at least one disenchant, whether it's Return to Nature or the Masked Vandal.
Could be super interesting, yeah.
Because if you get stuck under a Sulfuric Vortex and you don't have an answer,
Yeah,
you're just done. I don't actually have Trent Armstrong's sideboard here, unfortunately. A little bit sad. It's somewhere lost in the internet.
He'll bring in
make
more
its
red
way.
cards.
Yes, bought out red cards and bought in red cards.
Yeah, makes sense.
Good thinking. But if I was in Trent Armstrong's seat, I'd be looking at these anti-life gain cards. If there's a Sulfuric Vortex or Molten Vortex, Rampaging Ferocidon
That
actually.
would be excellent, yep.
Tailor-made for the Bant/Bant red matchup.
Just things that hit more planeswalkers, so if there's any more of that flexibility you can bring in, that's kind of thing I'd be looking at as well.
He did see some blue lands, but I'm not sure if you'll see the red elemental blasts come in. Out of these Bant decks, it is tricky. If you bought in too many red blasts and your opponent just plays that game where they play Mana Dork into Questing Beast and attack 5 times.
Yeah, you get stuck
Pretty
with
rough,
cards in your hand, it's basically molded 5. Yeah.
Maybe a shatter of some sort. You saw a Birthing Pod.
Oh yes, absolutely.
A Braid, really
Braid's
flexible
probably
for
just
this
great
matchup.
in the matchup, yeah.
And I guess you could be bringing in blasts if you're worried about getting your key red cards counted. Just blasts for blasts.
Definitely.
But I don't think that's the world you want to be in.
I don't think so either.
Well, looks like they're done with their sideboarding and just going to shuffle up. So we'll head down to the table real soon. Did you play against either of these players in the Switch?
Played Trent in round 1.
Yep.
And he dispatched me
not good.
quite easily.
You're wearing the same shirt as him. That's never
I know,
a
it
good
was
thing,
a
right?
bit rough on the pairings. I thought I could at least get him on round 2.
Yeah, sure. We're here today for day 2 of Tabernacle Games Easter weekend. They had Legacy yesterday, Highlander today, and tomorrow.
Yes.
Round 4 right now. 5 Swiss rounds before we cut to the top 8. Playing for a volcanic island for first.
It's
Paper.
pretty good. Yeah,
Real
very good.
Real cardboard.
This venue's beautiful. I haven't been here before. And it's,
Have you had a coffee?
been a treat. Yeah.
So good. It's a lot of the board game cafes you find they're like a board game place with a cafe stapled onto the side. This is the opposite.
Yeah,
this is a
absolutely.
cafe, and you can play games here. Which is it's a nice It's a nice change.
Absolutely.
The only issue that I've had with this whole place is the lighting on the feature table.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, there seem to be a bit more dark spots than...
Yeah, it's rough. We have to adjust it every round as the sun moves through the sky, and we
yep.
get different amounts of natural light.
Perfect.
And there is always a spot of glare on the table, but what can you do?
Just another challenge for a Sunday, right?
That's exactly right. I mean, I'll be back here tomorrow as well. No rest for the wicked.
I think it's fantastic that these events are getting streamed. You know,
Yeah.
really gives you that, you know, being able to go back and look at it, and everyone loves being on the feature match. I think
it's a lot of
really
fun
cool
to cast. As you said, it's a lot of fun to be on the feature match. It's a lot of fun to commentate as well. I've been told I'm not, I'm not the guest commentator. I'm definitely the
established.
I mean, yesterday I was doing production work. I was just sitting over here and just pulling the strings on life totals and letting two people chat, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Very different. You've done a bit of streaming yourself, right?
I have not for a little while, but did have a really good, couple of, maybe even a good 6 months. Of hitting it pretty hard. And
you were streaming Magic or other stuff?
Purely Magic at that point, but since then I've done a little bit of WoW when I was playing Classic, and Next Rumors came out, and and that had a lot of people watching too. So 99% Magic.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, the Magic community is really big, you know. It's not just in Australia, but worldwide. There's always people watching, always people playing, and it's great to find channels that you enjoy watching.
Absolutely. I had a Canadian guy that it happened to be when he finished his night shift. My stream would be on, and and he ended up being there for 7 or 8 streams in a row.
That's really cool.
Really cool, yeah.
Alright, so both players looking at their 7 now. Looks like Trent Armstrong has kept the red player. We've even got him on the red play map.
Yeah, that's good.
Perfect.
Seen it red sleeves. We'll have a chat to him about it afterwards.
Yeah, definitely. I'd give him a little bit of a penalty for that one.
I think Trent's gone to 6 here, which
I
don't think is necessarily a bad thing. You know, Trent Clarke is definitely looking for specific cards, whereas Trent Armstrong is looking for 7 good cards. So it's a little bit of a different puzzle.
The cards in Armstrong's deck here, they're mostly interchangeable. You know, you've got 4 or 5 prowess threats, you've got 4 or 5 lightning bolts.
Just want a good mix.
As long as you've got those, and maybe you're looking for a Haymaker sideboard card, something like. We didn't discuss the option of Boil, perhaps.
Oh, that's spicy.
So turn 1, Swift Spear. It's one of the best starts you can have in the deck. Goblin Guide, arguably better. Opening Fast Mana, arguably better. But if not for either of those, Swift Spear, really strong start. And I'm wondering whether Trent Armstrong's playing Soulscar Mage.
Oh yeah, yep. Yeah, that extra line of text is super interesting.
Yeah, the little bit of red prowessy stuff that I have played found that the easiest way to beat these green decks, to play, Oko, Uro, Tarmogoyf, is to have Soulscar Mage so that you can actually bolt a questing beast and be happy with the exchange.
Combat becomes so much more complex.
Exactly right. And we see a Chain Lightning, always bolt the bird.
Or the elf.
And a Daze. Dazing back a Shockland is a little bit awkward. As well as, protecting the mana dork by to save yourself a life, to save yourself a mana by costing yourself a mana.
Interesting.
Not sure if that's the right line, but we'll see how it goes.
Sulfur Falls from Trent Armstrong. So maybe there are some blue cards, or maybe it's just to have a cast. Oh, I guess Lutry's hybrid, right?
That might be a Fiery Islet or a Scalding Tarn. It's really hard to tell.
It's right in the middle of the glare.
Right in the glare. Once again, after this round,
actually.
I'll be adjusting the lighting. Should be 20 to 15. You're right. 20 to 15 is the life totals here, not 20 to 16. The 1 damage on turn 1. Crucial.
I'm like 80% sure that's a Scalding Tarn, but right in the middle is so good.
Yeah, that's right. So what's the follow-up going to be? Are we re-shocking? You can't feel good about it. Alright, Tundra.
Tundra does not untap with Arbor Elf, though.
So the Arbor Elf's getting into the red zone. Why
blood.
not? Get him. And just a pass. I did see a Path to Exile in Trent Clarke's hand here on the opener.
Yeah.
So that may be the plan here, try and get another Prowess spell out of hand and go from there. Definitely a Fiery Islet and a Barbarian Ring there. Barbarian Ring is such a sweet card, not for this matchup specifically, although it's fine here. But when you're playing against opponents with counter spells and they think they can stabilize on 2,
Yes.
Barbarian Ring will get ya. And here we also see a Goblin Rabble Master.
Yep. Yeah, it's good to save the path there. You don't want to path on their turn, so they untap with the mana.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Giving your opponent a chance to play better creatures is always nice too.
So this path is a little more painful than the previous. The last game, the Path to Exile, Trent already had 4 lands in play. There was a Magus in play. This game, the path giving the 4th land, and maybe turning off the requirement to use these Fiery Islet and Barbarian Ring. They do hurt every time you use them.
Yes. And ramping your opponent, again, with a Lutri off on the sideboard, playing that 3 is a little bit easier when you've got 4 or 5 lands.
Very true, very true. Yeah, Lutri, a very good mana sink.
Just being able to double bolt someone's pretty nice.
I've got Trent Armstrong on 17 here. So I'm going to let you commentate the game for a moment.
Sure, no worries. Double check. So it'd be interesting turn for Trent Armstrong. I think he's looking quite ahead here, and it would be really interesting to see how he could put the boots in. That is definitely a Fiery Islet now that it's come out of the glare. So good call, whoever noticed that.
You can't hide from the hawk-like eyes of the commentators and chat. Chat will always get you.
Chats, yeah, definitely. So I think I've seen a little bit of his hand. He's got a Copter, a Stomp, I think.
Okay, Copter's good.
Copter's probably really good here too, yeah.
It's a creature and it triggers prowess.
I think he has a Stomp or another adventure card in his hand.
I think that's definitely an alt-art adventure of some sort. Copter triggering the prowess here, really nice, and providing a 3/3 for the next turn, giving that sort of pseudo haste to all of your creatures.
Especially now with 4 lanes, you don't necessarily need the 5th one, so it's
exactly
really easy to go ahead and discard that.
I think there's a red elemental blast in hand as well. This is going to be a tough game for Trent Clarke here.
I think so.
To pull back into this, there's just a lot of things being pushed in different directions here. The constant pressure on the life total, and this is, as I mentioned in game 1, you've got to get this chip damage in and use your burn to finish out the game.
I wonder if picking up that island before is costing him on the development side.
Yeah, I mean, it's either lose the land or lose the dork, and the land maybe having the extra life cost. It's a tough call to make. See, Mountain Gataxian Probe flipped off this light up the stage. Land hasn't been played for turn yet, and hey, is that Fiery Islet going to tap for blue?
It could.
Every time the players touch the dice, they end up further up the screen. Very true.
That's quite funny.
Yeah, there was times. What was it? It was there was a vintage deck, a workshops deck that played an Urborg and sometimes used it to cast Dismember.
Amazing. Yeah.
Really cute.
Well, you got to get your points in when you can, right? That's good deck building.
That's exactly right. And just opting to pay the life for it here, figures that no, maybe he's not casting. Maybe I'm wrong.
Trent's definitely fetching, or motioning to fetch, so...
Yeah, I think Trent Armstrong doesn't particularly have to worry about life total this game.
I don't think it looks like it, yeah.
Unless exactly Questing Beast comes down yet again, The offense and defense. No real concessions to life gain in the board for Trent, though, for Trent Armstrong. You don't see Kitchen Finks, you don't see... Obstinate Ballast was an old one.
Just the Timely, I think, is the only one that I've seen.
Yeah, granted, I guess there's the main deck, Uro Oko, and I think there's probably an Omnath in this 4-colour deck.
I wouldn't be too surprised, it's a good product hit.
Yeah, the 4-colour Omnath, the life gain is
yeah, there's an Omnath in here, yep.
Super crucial.
So I think Clarke has to have a big turn next turn, otherwise he might just keep falling too far and far behind.
I'm not sure where we are in the turn right now.
I think it's still Trent's turn, Trent Armstrong's, but it might be in his end step.
Yeah.
Fetching.
Which is strange because he's elected not to play the mountain off the light up the stage.
Yes, yeah. So now I'm not sure whether he did play land or not. I was fairly certain he hadn't. It makes sense to hold on to the Gitaxian Pro for one extra prowess next turn, but yeah, missing the land might...
I mean, last turn was 3 lands, Rabble Master, and then it got pathed.
That's right, yeah.
So there was definitely at least that a land drop available. Maybe there's just some confusion on where they are in the turn. Maybe Trent Clarke thought we were in the end step.
Possibly.
And wants to fetch there. We'll have to wait and see how it goes.
He has a forest now, so his Rolf does something. That's good.
That's where you want to be. What was the fetch land? Wooded Foothills.
Wooded Foothills,
yeah. And what's the spell?
Snapcaster Mage.
Okay.
So we're going to get another path.
Sure.
Yep.
Pathing the Monastery Swift Spear. Get that off the table. It's going to go to the exile zone.
Eventually.
We'll put it up with the dice. They're off the table.
Yeah.
And the second path, it really hurts, especially with, as you mentioned, the Lutri, especially with the Fiery Islet as well. You know, the first path was a bit awkward. The second one hurts. Okay, so we're just
Looks
on
like we didn't pass the
Clarke's
custom
turn. Yeah, okay. Just missed the land drop.
Saved it for later.
Maybe a landfall creature coming out. Maybe Retreat to Valakut. Is that the one? No, Valakut Exploration.
Okay, yep.
Ooh, the Sword of Fire and Ice. He's back.
That'd be a nice one with, I guess, any of those creatures, you know?
Yeah, any creature wears a sword relatively well.
We didn't miss a land forever, so it's good. Does have the Stomp in place, in hand, so it will kind of tax Trent Clarke's mana if he goes for that.
Sure.
Kind of gets blown out and gets time walked effectively.
Absolutely, as well as the Stomp preventing damage, prevention.
That's actually
Means
could
that
be really interesting.
If you find this line where, you know, the sword goes onto the Snapcaster, Stomp in response, sword onto Arbor Elf, Trent Armstrong could block.
Yes.
No, can't block. Doesn't stop the protection. As you were.
Yeah.
I'm not judging.
It could be
today.
interesting.
Is that a smash to smithereens?
Maybe a Goblin Guide, I think.
Goblin, yeah, okay, definitely Goblin Guide. You're entirely right. And now the life total kind of does matter for Trent Armstrong
Yes.
here.
Yeah, that sword's kind of changed the game a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
depending on how you play around it, I guess.
Revealing Breeding Pool Dispel.
Okay.
The Breeding Pool was known about. That's been there a long time.
Yeah, had to pick that one up.
Dispel, a really nice, clean 1-mana answer to Stomp.
Or letting your sword equip.
Very true. Yeah, it's gonna be a pickle.
So yeah, we did say that Trent Clarke needed to have a pretty good set of turns, and I think you know, aside from giving his opponent way more extra mana, it's kind of turning it around where it feels a little bit more 50-50, or at least not 80, 20 like it was.
Yeah.
Starting to feel that way.
Yeah, Snapcaster really good at just sort of grinding out the advantage here. You know,
And then being able to
removing a
block.
creature, and it's a 2/1. You know, sometimes the 2/1 body is inconsequential, but this time it's not. You know, the 2/1 body is quite important.
Definitely. So hopefully Trent Armstrong's got that in his deck, the adventure creature that can blow up artifacts or finds an abrade quickly, because I think it's going to be important.
Now, is that a Rimrock Knight?
That looks like a Rimrock Knight. So maybe there was not a Stomp.
We'll get that
They
on
look
the
very
screen
similar.
here. They do. I mean, especially in the alternate artwork.
Yes.
The frame just sort of
Very red.
blurs everything together. Getting in the copter, getting in for some damage here. If I'm right about these life totals, I've got 12 plays 6. We'll see if we can adjust those life dice again. Got a lovely team of Gaffer out there.
And there goes that little tree into the hand, so that could be very interesting. I think I saw something that looked like a Char, which wouldn't be too surprising, but
Char,
I'm not sure what
okay.
the other card could be,
Char's big damage.
especially with Lutri.
Very true, very true. I mean, Lutri Price of Progress, always glorious.
Gross. That would lead to a lot of draws.
10 and 6. Yes!
Nailed it.
That's a
Don't even need the dice.
point on the board for me.
A little bit more. Perfect.
It's it's a small inconvenience to the players to restrict their playmats a little bit. Maybe we could move the dice up further on the screen, but we've got to have the accessibility for coverage. In a perfect world, I'd have a spotter, a spotter or a slightly different camera setup so I can have the dice be off this frame and be visible to me elsewhere. But that is not what's happening today. Coming across with the sword. This is an important trigger for the Sword of Fire and Ice.
Absolutely.
Where does it go? Does it go face? Does it pick off the 3-1? Does it pick off the guide?
At 6, I don't think you can hit the face. I think it's opening yourself up to just getting slapped back for 6.
Tend to agree. Do you know what was revealed off the Goblin Guide? I actually
didn't see it. No.
Okay, so untapping, and that's a Skyclave Apparition.
That's a good one here.
That is an impressive card. It reads as pretty good, and then you play it, and it's actually a lot better than that.
Yeah, it's one of the most powerful white cards printed in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, the Barbarian Ring close to being able to take it out here.
I think that was Jar.
I don't have a draw thing on the screen. Are you telling me I have to find room to put draws on the screen? So 2 damage from the lands, going down to 4.
Oh no.
Deal 8 to you, 4 to me.
Oops. Wow, okay. I hope that was a draw, because that's amazing. Nothing wrong with an extra round of Magic. I'm confused. I hope you meant that, but it looked like you didn't.
Did they just draw game 2? I'm pretty sure they drew game 2.
Yes, please.
Yes.
That was a draw.
Yes. Was it deliberate?
No.
Yeah, I thought
It was
so.
not?
No, because he could attack for 2 and it dies and kills itself, which allows to have 7 cards. And that turns on the Barbarian Ring to deal 2 damage and then char
Once. Yeah.
once.
Amazing. Alright, well that's Highlander for you, right? It's a pretty complex...
So let me add a thingy here for draws. The good news is it can always just say 1. Because it's either 1 or it's off.
Yeah. Well. You could have another draw. We could have another...
Don't say that. Don't say that. Nah. It's impossible. Ooh, that's... struggling to work here. Let's head back to that sideboarding, hey? You want to see what we can figure out? What did Trent Clarke bring in, and is there anything else that might have changed after that game?
So we obviously saw that Dispel, which I think was really important in in that game, potentially. I don't think it ended up getting cast, and I think that's the only sideboard cut that we saw. So
It could have countered the char.
Yep.
I'm just, staring intently at the screen, trying to get this this draw number in the right place. Alright, that's good enough.
And then I didn't really see anything that screamed out as me as a sideboard card from Trent Armstrong, but with these red decks you never really know, you got to fit 60 cards in the main board, and there are a lot of good red cards. So.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of good red cards. I've played a bit of blue-red prowess in the last 12 months. Of course, I think the blue is a huge edge on the deck. You get access to Treasure Cruise, you get access to, if you're very rich, Ancestral Recall, Time War,
yes, absolutely.
Jace Prince Prodigy, and cards like Brazen Borrower and Spell Pierce and Daze just really do a number on these, on bigger mana decks.
Yeah, draw 3 when a lot of your deck does 3 damage is pretty nice.
Exactly, yeah. The deck is just very samey. Every card, as we said at the start when we were looking at the mulligans, the deck is just, the 6 best lava spikes and the 5 best prowess creatures.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't matter which ones you draw.
No.
You're happy with drawing any of them.
Or multiple of them.
Yeah, exactly, right. Dig Through Time, always going to be better for these control decks that want to pick and choose their cards.
Absolutely.
But when it comes to just throwing lava spikes at your opponent's face...
1 blue is much better than 2 blue.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, so Trent Armstrong, our red player, on a mulligan. Trent Clarke
Looks
Looking
like
at a
it's
7, that body language says keep to me. I'll see if I can tell them that they obviously don't like where the dice are. Tell them they can put it in the white space if they want.
Perfect. Might make a bit happier.
Yeah, exactly. It does constrain your board space a little bit. Alright, let's have a look at this 6. That looks like a price of progress.
Yep. Oh, I think he shuffled the Lutri into his hand.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
not sure that was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
There is a Lutri on the bottom of the deck, if I saw that correctly.
I think that the Lutri was accidentally left in the deck, not boarded out. I've made that mistake myself, personally. You know,
Yeah, I haven't had to play with any of the companion creatures yet in
Yeah.
paper, and I'm terrified about that, yeah.
very typical for companions and wishes of any
Oh,
variety.
absolutely. The 61 card deck.
14 minutes left in the round. You know, and it used to be a game loss. If you were caught with a card from your sideboard in your main deck, you were out of here if you played 61-14.
Yep.
Not true anymore. You're
I think
allowed
that
to
was
play
a good change.
61.
I think that was a good change.
Absolutely.
You know, 99% of the time, no one's looking for an advantage, and the punishment's already having a 61st card
Yeah,
deck.
he's got the loot. That's even worse, because not only has he got a 61 card deck and lower consistency, he doesn't have Lutri in his side.
Where it should be, yeah.
He can't wish for it.
Yeah.
And
So I think Trent's got an Elvish Mystic, I think.
yeah,
Alternate
yeah. The Elvish Mystic promo is very similar to the Avacyn's Pilgrim promo, but we
Yes.
saw the Avacyn Pilgrim
Yeah,
in
it
play
wasn't,
before.
yeah, it wasn't that, yeah. We've got a bit of a head start there, fortunately.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Volcanic Island Preordain is the follow-up. You know what we haven't seen from Trent Armstrong? Never mind. We saw a magazine game 1, as you were.
Yeah,
Good, yeah. Good chat.
So I think this is obviously a really good start for Trent Clarke. You know, being on 19 on turn 2 is a good place to be, and
Yeah.
not on an onslaught of creatures just
Yeah.
yet. I mean,
On the play, your opponent didn't have a 1-drop. That's how you need to start this. You know, on the
2-drop
play,
can't
Mana
attack yet.
Accelerant. that's a good start. Compare it to the last game where there was turn 1 threat attack,
Yeah.
turn 2 Mana Dork, which had to be, you know, Days undid the tempo of that. I've got my head in my hands as these guys just continue to
push the dice away.
push the limits of where dice are allowed to be.
That's a very good sideboard card there from Trent.
Searing
I don't know
Blood.
why it's... Is it exiled? It didn't get
I
counted.
think that is cast, exiled to an Abbot of Carroll Keep.
Ah, that's a shame.
Yeah.
That would have been really good here. I thought that had been cast.
Yeah, I mean, that would be an awesome start here. Problem is, it is red as well,
Yes.
which is difficult to cast off a strip mine.
That is also fair.
So, you know, Abbot of Carroll Keep, when it hits, it's so good. You know, when you hit the land,
Oh, yeah.
when you hit exactly the spell you need, it's so good. But there's so many times where, like, imagine if Trent Armstrong here flipped Price of Progress.
Yeah.
That's gone.
Absolutely. Forever. Yeah, I played a lot of Abbott and Standard. It was always fun then. Flipped all the lands when you need them.
Yeah.
Trent has 3 Geodudes representing 1/1s. So,
Shoutouts to Geodude, though. I asked this question earlier in the stream. What's your favourite Gen 1 Pokemon?
Oh, that's a tough question.
Topical. Was that a timely reinforcements? Is that
Yes,
why?
that's why he's got the 1/1s.
Gross.
So, really good in this matchup, obviously. And
Yeah,
just putting the
incredible.
hammers down.
And it gives the ability to triple block Kari Zev?
I think it's a 1/3, so you'd still lose out.
Yeah.
You can triple block.
You're right, yeah. Wow, that first strike.
Yeah,
Alright.
It comes up. It comes up. Doesn't come up often, but when it does, it's gross. 'Cause
Very true.
You'll forget that has first strike, because why
Yep.
does that matter? 99%
Yeah,
of the
exactly.
time. Yeah.
A chump block.
On the 2/1.
Well, I mean, I guess it's not even a chump, it's a trade.
I guess, yeah. yeah, at the time, yeah, absolutely.
And that is a red 1-drop. Gee whiz.
Could be anything.
I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow for lighting. I might have to pull in my own stuff and figure something out because it's difficult.
Especially in the morning, it'd be a bit easier, right? As long as the day gets higher with the sun moving, it just, adds
The
a bit of
best
complexity.
round we had yesterday was the last round, actually.
Okay.
The finals moved on to a different table, and that was super easy.
Yep.
As we see an end of turn brainstorm.
So Trent's just looking for specific cards, I
We're
guess.
going to have words with Trent about that one.
Yeah, no value. Where's the value, Trent?
That's
Where's the
exactly
fetch?
right.
I guess against Mono Red, you got to do what you got to do, so you can't can't troll the man too much. You got to look for those.
Yeah, and this strip mine for Trent Armstrong is it's a little bit awkward. You know, stopping maybe some double red plays. Also, just never great against a mana dork draw.
I think it'd be excellent in this. This matchup, more often than it's not. But it's just, when there's only 2 lands and only one of them produces red mana, it gets a bit tough.
All right, question for you.
Sure.
How do tournaments work? If Trent Armstrong wins this game, we've gone to 1-1-1, and there's still time on the clock. Is the match over, or do we keep playing?
You keep playing.
You keep playing.
Yeah. It's first to 2 wins, not 3
exactly
games.
right. Yeah. If no one's on 2 wins yet, we're going to keep playing, and we're going to get
Fiery
that card
Justice.
on the screen here. That is a doozy.
So I thought this card might come in, but it's this one. I think you pay.
No, this is the one you gain life.
Okay. So yeah, this is.
They
fine.
gain life rather.
Yep.
I mean, enjoy it. Trent Armstrong up to 20 here, up to 22, I should say.
That red card was the Kitkin.
Figure of Destiny.
Yeah,
okay.
that's right.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
More red mana would have been nice.
Yeah, I mean, once again, the strip mine costing in that department, and it's a suspended rift bolt.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll say it for the 4th time in a minute. That strip mine doesn't cast another red spell right here.
It looks like this sort of Fire and Ice is going to get in with the. Doesn't even need to tap the 1/1.
Yeah, just get it onto a token. That's a crunch in there. That's for 4 in the combat step, 2 off the trigger.
5, I think, right?
1, 2, 3, 4. I can count. 5 off the combat, 2 from the trigger, and there'll be an extra card in it for Trent Clarke here.
I think it's going to be hard for him to lose from here. It's a powerful position.
Yeah, you're gonna need
That's something.
Fiery Confluence equalizers.
Yeah,
that's-
Fire Confidence would be good, but you need a few more lands.
You'd need fast mana for that. Yeah, you need to be drawing.
See an Arclight
Black
Phoenix in the hand.
Lotus.
That's kind of interesting.
Phoenix is cool. I don't play it personally. I think 3 instants and sorceries is a really tough ask. I think there's other Phoenixes that might
Be more interesting.
be better. That's not to say that they're great all-stars,
Yep.
but, I think Arclight Phoenix, when you can't play 3 times 4 cantrips, it's tough. It's tough to make it work. If you had 4 mana Morphos,
Yeah, easy.
easy in there.
Yeah, I played a lot of that deck in Modern. That was fun. Every time you drew a Metamorphose, you felt like you were doing something illegal.
Was that with or without Gataxian Probe?
Without, yeah. I think
Yeah.
it got banned.
Yeah.
Gataxian Probe got banned before Phoenix. Otherwise, that would've
Probe
been
is,
ridiculous. It didn't need to do all of those things.
That's exactly right, yeah. One hell of a mechanic, the Phyrexian Life.
Yes. Yep.
Alright, you're Trent Clarke. What are you hoping to draw off the top?
I don't think it matters at this point, if I'm being honest. I think you could draw lands for the rest
Alright,
of
so
the game.
counterspell. Good answer.
Yeah.
Yep. Strip Mine.
Strip mine, the one mountain. I think that's lights out.
Same attack here, 5+2, down to 8.
But I think just drawing 2 cards a turn is going to be too strong to.
2
to
cards
come
a
back from.
turn, and
Dealing a lot of damage.
playing out a creature here and moving the sword onto it. Scavenging Ooze for that touch of life gain. It's, you try to call these down the middle and, leave avenues where, maybe Trent Armstrong draws this.
Yep.
But it's tough in a situation like this.
Absolutely.
There's just too many axes of attack.
I think if the sword didn't have pro red, it would have been a little bit more different.
That's
It's probably
exactly
the
it,
same
yeah.
outcome, but yeah, it's pretty hard to beat a protection
Strike.
from your deck.
Strike face, okay.
I mean, maybe.
And draw for turn and pray for something good. And it's gone.
Swiss speed.
I mean, there's Price of Progress in hand. That's 8 damage. Like, that's actually,
Yeah,
that's an equalizer.
I see why you would go for face there and just parade, mate.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe
Pray for another draw.
Fire Blast could be an option, but I don't think it's
Need
going to
2
happen.
mountains, right?
Yeah. Fire Blast plus Lutri is real good as well. By the way,
Oh.
just want to throw that out
Yeah.
there.
Well, no, when you're shuffling your deck.
Yeah, I mean, you know, 3 mana for 8 damage.
Yeah, that's really good.
It's a lot of damage. It's like Char, except it all goes to the opponent.
Yep. Yeah, I really like Lucha in these decks.
And there's the handshake. Bit of a tough one there for Trent, and also a really easy one for Trent. As we drag it back into the booth here.
Some maximum complexity.
Trent Clarke, if you asked him at the start of the day, will you win round 4 2-0-1 2-1
0?
0?
Yeah.
I don't think
You wouldn't have put money on it.
No, yeah, that's not how you expect these games to go.
Good one for the viewers, I think.
Yeah, I've seen draws in the past, typically like very intentional, whether it's like, all right, I'm behind Price of Progress,
Start again,
or I'm behind World Gorger Dragon, Animate Dead, you know.
The loop. Yeah.
But just a good old fashioned Char, copy my Char. Wait, that's lethal. Wait, I had this other
Yeah.
Cool games. Well, Nathan, thanks for joining me in the booth.
Thanks for having me.
I hope you had a blast.
Absolutely.
I don't know if there's time left in the round to get an interview in. I think there's somewhere in the vicinity of 5 minutes left on the clock.
Mm-hmm.
Are you playing again tomorrow?
No, I'm catching up with my family, which is borderline
on Easter?
unfortunate at this point.
Weird.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, fair enough. Well, I hope you have a good time then. And, yeah, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, my pleasure.